reading module and we are going to solve this reading test together. In total, there will be 40 questions. We'll go through each and every question and you have to focus. I am recording the class. You will get the class recording as well when you go back home. Make sure that you should know all 40 questions and their answers and the location of the answers as well, where the answers are, what the answers are, which line, which sentence. So you need to practice all 40 questions when you go back home. Each question needs special attention. This is the question, this is the sentence in the passage, this is the answer and why that is the answer. So if you do this debriefing with the reading test, you will understand things better. Whenever you start your reading test, you need to read the title, or if there is any subtitle, you can read that as well. So title is Materials to Take Us Beyond Concrete. Now concrete is a material with which we build buildings. So materials to take us beyond concrete. It means they are going to talk about some materials other than concrete to make buildings and all that. Concrete is everywhere, but it is bad for the planet, generating large amounts of carbon dioxide. Alternatives are being developed. Now we understand they are going to protect the environment. So instead of making cement or concrete, they will talk about some other material to construct the houses. Okay. So after reading the title and the subtitle, we will move on to the questions and we see what the questions are. So first we've got questions 1 to 4. Which paragraph contains the following information? Then we've got questions 5 to 8 and they are summary completion. And finally we have questions 9 to 13 and that is matching. It's pretty unusual that we have matching type of questions in reading part 1. Otherwise in reading part 1 mainly we have two type of questions. One is sentence completion and one is true false not given. So we don't have any true false not given, we've got matching instead of that. So let's just go on with it. Now I think it's a good idea to start from questions 5 to 8. Then you can move on to other questions. So questions 5 to 8. Complete the summary below. Question type is summary completion. Complete the summary below. Choose one word only from the passage for each answer. So now we are going to select one word and that one word is going to be from the passage for each answer. So we are going to go on with summary completion and let's read the question. One word only, making buildings with wood. Now the whole topic is about making buildings with wood. So we need to go back to the passage and look for the word wood. Paragraph D for doctor. A possible alternative to concrete is wood. It means answers will start from here and then you will find all the answers. Now come back to the question. The question says, wood is a traditional building material, but current environmental concerns. The first question, we are going to read the first question and let's see what the question is and how to answer that, right? The question is, wood is a traditional building material, but current environmental concerns are encouraging dash to use wood. Now encouraging dash to use wood, it means it is encouraging someone or something to use wood. So we go back, encouraging, keep in mind encouraging. Now please come to paragraph D for doctor and we read it from there. A possible alternative to concrete is wood. Making buildings from wood may seem like a rather medieval idea, but climate change is driving architects, encouraging, and the synonym for encouraging is driving. So the right answer is architects. Plural word, architects. So you are going to write architects there. Okay, so correct answer is architects. Okay, That's better. And those who've joined online, please send your answers using this chat option of GoToMeeting. Okay? Yeah. All right. Now, let's go on. After this, we move on to the next question. Question number 6. For example, now we will see the synonym of example. For example, as dash in the atmosphere enters the wood. Now, what is it that is in the atmosphere and it enters the wood? Same paragraph. They talk about Vancouver, but there is no answer. Please come to the next paragraph. Paragraph E. Yeah, please come to paragraph E. Using wood to construct buildings, however, is not straightforward. Wood expands. Okay, so we go on to the next paragraph and they say here, I'm reading paragraph E for elephant from the beginning. Using wood to construct buildings, however, is not straightforward. Wood expands as it absorbs moisture from the air. Now, what is in the air? Moisture. For air, they use the word atmosphere. Okay, wood absorbs moisture. Go back to the question. For example, as moisture in the atmosphere. Now, what is the word for atmosphere? Air. So, right answer is moisture. Well done. Okay, mark it and just do one thing, encircle moisture and write there 2. 2 means answer of question number 2 is moisture. Now, after that you can see there is a gap and after the gap we have question number 7. So, they say, I'm reading it from moisture and a line below. In addition, wood is prone to pests and the risk of fire is greater. However, wood can be turned into a better construction material if it is treated and combined with other materials. In one process, dash of solid wood are glued together. Now, what of solid wood are glued together? In one process, dash of solid wood are glued together. Paragraph E, 4th line after full stop. An adhesive is used to stick layers of solid sawn timber. Timber is what? Timber is wood, exactly. So, an adhesive is used to stick layers of solid sawn timber. So, what do? What is stick together? Layers of solid wood. For wood, they use the word solid sawn timber. So, correct answer is layers. Layers are glued together. What is the word for glued? Stick. Adhesive is used to stick. Okay. So, correct answer is layers. Now, we go on 8th question. I am reading it from 4th last line after full stop. Please follow me. 8th question, 4th last line after full stop. Experts say that wooden buildings are an improvement on those made of concrete and steel in terms of the dash. Now, wooden buildings are an improvement on those made of concrete and steel in terms of dash with which they can be constructed. In terms of something with which they can be constructed. Same paragraph E, 2nd last line. Please come to 2nd last line of paragraph E. Construction experts say that wooden buildings can be constructed at a greater speed than ones of concrete and steel, and the process, it seems, is quieter. So, what should be the answer? Speed, absolutely. In terms of the speed, and for that they use the word can be constructed at a greater speed. So, correct answer for question number 8 is speed. All right, now we go on and this time we will follow the next questions, and the questions are 9 to 13. Look at the following statements, questions 9 to 13 and the list of people. Now, let me tell you this question type, questions and answers, they are not in order. but the options which are given, options are list of people. So this list of people is in order. Okay, what is the first name on the list? Chris Chisman. So go back and look for Chris Chisman. Chris Chisman. Paragraph B, and then you can also see Chris Chisman in paragraph C. Come to paragraph C, third last line, according to Chisman. Found it? Okay, so now let's go on. Look for Marcus Manstorm. Marcus Manstorm. Look for Marcus Manstorm. Shariar, there is no slide. Just follow the handout which you have printed. Printed handout. Okay, paragraph F, and we've got the word Marcus Manstorm. Okay, paragraph F, and we can see Marcus Manstorm in the second line. Paragraph F, second line, and you will see the word Marcus Manstorm. All right. Then after that we have Anna Surganor. Anna Surganor. Well done. G, second paragraph. Section G, second paragraph, and you can see the word Anna. Anna Surganor. Okay, and then we've got Felix Preston and Johanna. Paragraph. Okay, H paragraph, third line, and you will find it. So you might have noticed they are all in order. Now these are the locations which you need to check to find your answer. Let's just start with Chris Cheeseman. Okay, now for this type of question, inverted commas are very important because we have to match the statements of scientists with their names. So inverted commas are important. In paragraph B, you can see they talk about Chris Cheeseman, and then there is inverted comma in third last line. Now please follow me. Paragraph B for boy, third last line. Concrete is not a high carbon product. Concrete is high carbon, but concrete is not. Okay, cement is high carbon, but concrete is not. But it is the scale on which it is used that makes it high carbon. Like we use it too much. Okay, the sheer scale of manufacturer is so huge. That is the issue. Now come back and go through all the options, questions 9 to 13. Go through questions 9 to 13 and then tell me which question is the right one for this statement. It is the scale on which it is used. It means we use it at a large scale. So question number 13. Environment damage caused by concrete is due to it being produced in large quantities. For large quantities, they use the word scale. Right? So question number 13, right answer is A. And you should cross number 13 also because you will not read it again. Alright, now after this, can you guys see we have Cheeseman again. So if they use one scientist 2 times, it means there can be 2 statements about him as well. Or maybe at one location there will be a statement and one location there will not be any statement. Now all of you please come to paragraph C, third last line. According to Cheeseman, found it? Paragraph C, third last line. According to Cheeseman, all these factors together make concrete hard to beat. Concrete is amazing stuff. Keep that in mind. Hard to beat. Concrete is amazing stuff. Making anything with similar properties is going to be very difficult. Now come back. Question number 10. It would be hard to create a construction alternative to concrete that offers so many comparable benefits. It would be hard. And what is the statement there? He said making anything with similar properties is going to be very difficult. Very difficult means hard. Okay. So question number 10, what is the answer? Answer is A, because it is said by Chris Cheeseman, and now you're going to cross number 10 as well. Okay, question number 10 and question number 13 we have answered, right? And now we move on to Marcus Manstorm. Now, let's see what is it that Marcus Manstorm says. Where is Marcus Manstorm? Paragraph F. All right, let's read from there. Paragraph F, everybody. And I'm reading it from second line. Marcus Manstorm reports that, now reports, they did not use inverted commas and they are using the word reports. So now it is important. Reports that the company is seeing increasing demand globally for building in wood, with climate change concerns the key driver. What is the key driver? Climate change. So, Marcus Manstorm reports that company is seeing increasing demand globally for building in wood. Now, come back. Question number 11. Worries about the environment have led to increased interest in wood as a construction material. So, question number 11, right answer is B. Well done. Now, please cross number 11 as well. Because we've done it, we'll not do it second time. So, 3 questions have been answered. Next, we have Anna Serganor. Now, look for Anna Serganor. Anna Serganor is in paragraph G, second paragraph. Section G, second paragraph, and you will find Anna Serganor there. But Anna Serganor of the UK's Green Building Council notes, now we are just going to look for something that is what he said, notes that although these waste products can save carbon in the concrete mix, their use is not always straightforward. It's possible to replace the cement content in concrete with waste products to lower the overall carbon impact. But there are several calculations that need to be considered across the entire life cycle of the building. These means calculations include factoring in where these materials are being shipped from, if they are transported over a long distance using fossil fuels, the use of alternative materials might not make sense from an overall carbon reduction perspective. Now just keep all that in mind. So we are left with questions 9 and 12. Which question is that? 9. The environmental advantage of cement alternative may not be as great as initially assumed. Now let's go back and we see where do they talk about as initially assumed. They say it is possible to replace the cement content in concrete with waste products to lower the overall carbon impact. And later on, she is talking about, but there are several calculations that need to be considered across the entire life cycle of the building. So, what's the question? The question is environmental advantage of cement alternative may not be as great as initially assumed. Okay. So, they are talking about this transported over a long distance using fossil fuels, use of alternative material might not make sense from an overall carbon reduction perspective. This last line is important here. Okay, question number 9, correct answer is C. Now what are we left with? Question number 12 and one option only, and that option is D. So let's go back. Where do we find Felix Preston? We'll look for Felix Preston. Okay, last paragraph, H. Right? Felix Preston, third line. Please follow me. Paragraph H, third line. Felix Preston and Joanna Lynn of the UK's Royal Institute of International Affairs reached the conclusion that, now this inverted comma, these commas are important, some novel cements have been discussed for more than a decade within the research community without breaking through. At present, these alternatives are rarely as cost effective as conventional cement. So they are not as cost effective as conventional, means the one we are using. Question number 12. expense has been a factor in the negative response to the development of new cement. Now, why expense? They said at present these alternatives are rarely as cost effective as conventional cement. So, it's basically the price. So, correct answer is expense has been a factor in the negative response to the development of new cements. Question number 12, correct answer is option D. Okay. Now, we move on and we've got questions 1 to 4. Questions 1 to 4, reading passage 1 has 8 sections A to H. Now, this question type is called which paragraph contains the following information, and we can do it on the basis of scanning. You have to scan, first you read the question, then you have to scan the relevant information in the passage. Let's read question number 1. An explanation of the industrial process, underline industrial process, explanation that create potential raw material for concrete. Now, you need to look for industrial process that creates raw material for concrete. So, let's look for something like concrete, industrial, raw material and all that. Look for something like that, raw material for concrete. Go through paragraph E, F, G, H. I give you the clue. Go through paragraphs E, F, G, H and see which paragraph is mentioning explanation of industrial process that creates potential raw material for concrete. Correct answer is paragraph G, section G, first paragraph. And what is that? Raw material. Fly ash and slag from iron ore are possible alternatives to cement in a concrete mix. Fly ash, a byproduct of coal burning power plants, can be incorporated into concrete mixes to make up as much as 15 to 30% of the cement, without harming the strength or durability of the resulting mix, iron or slag. Okay. So, what is this? This is an explanation of the industrial process that create potential raw material for concrete. Okay. Now, let's go on. Question number 2. A reference to the various locations where high-rise wooden buildings can be found. Now, you will look for the names of cities, places, locations where high-rise wooden buildings can be found. Well done. Okay, you need to just look for some country name where they find high-rise buildings. Look for names, proper nouns, names of places. That's right, Alina, well done. So, correct answer is paragraph D. D for doctor. Okay, let's see. What do they say here? Paragraph D for doctor, second last line. Okay, they say here, second last line, Vancouver, Vienna and Brumunddal in Norway are all home to constructed tall wooden buildings. Tall wooden buildings, what is that? Reference to the various locations where high-rise wooden building. For tall, they use the word high-rise. And for various locations, they use the word Vancouver, Vienna and that one. Right? So, correct answer for question number 2 is D. Now, let's go on to question number 3. An indication of how widely available the raw material of concrete are. Indication how widely available the raw materials of concrete are. Like the raw material for concrete, that is iron, sand, cement, crush, they are widely available. So, you need to look for something like that. Go to paragraph A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Ingredients of concrete. Absolutely. Paragraph C for cat, first line. Amreen, it's C for cat. Okay, C, first line. Not only are the ingredients of concrete relatively cheap and found in abundance in most places around the globe. Got it? Most places around the globe. What's the question? Indication of how widely available. Widely available means most places around the globe. The raw material of concrete are. So question number 3, correct answer is C. Now let's go on. Question number 4, the belief that more high-rise wooden buildings are needed before wood can be regarded as a viable construction material. More high-rise wooden buildings are needed. High-rise wooden buildings. Okay. Everyone, please come to paragraph F for fire. Well done. That's great. F for fire and third last line. But even treated, okay, but even treated wood has its limitations, and only when a wider range of construction projects has been proven in practice will it be possible to see wood as a real alternative to concrete in constructing tall buildings. What's the question? The belief that more high-rise wooden buildings are needed. Now, what is the word for more high-rise wooden buildings are needed? Tall buildings. They say here a real alternative to concrete in constructing of tall buildings. So, needed before wood can be regarded as a viable construction. So, for that they say but even treated wood has its limitations, and this part only when a wider range of construction projects has been proven in practice will it be possible to see wood as a real alternative. So, what does it mean? We need a lot of examples, so many wooden buildings, then we can go for wood instead of cement. So, question number 4, correct answer is F, right? Alright, now we go on and we've got questions like list of headings, which is good. You should learn how to do list of headings. In academic reading, you will see list of headings in part 1, 2 or 3. But in general training reading, list of headings comes in part 3 only, right? Method is same, process is same. So you can see questions 14 to 20, we have list of headings. But first of all, we will read the title of the passage. What's the title? The title is The Steam Car. Now we are talking about battery car, right? They are talking about steam car, success and failure of the Double brothers and their steam car. So it means they are going to talk about a steam car in the past, right? So the whole passage is about steam car and how it was made. Okay, now we go on and we see what are the next questions. Questions 21 to 23, multiple choice questions. They are also type A. Type A means questions and their answers, they are in order. Questions 24 to 26, summary completion. Huh?
What about 14 to 20?
I'll come to that later. Questions 24 to 26, we've got summary completion. So where should we start from? We should start from summary completion, then you can do multiple choice questions, and finally you can do list of headings. This is the best approach. But if your skimming is good, your skimming speed is good, you can skim the paragraph quickly, you may start with list of headings and then you can come to the next questions. But remember, if you do it raw-mindedly means you are not familiar with the passage and you start with list of headings. So there are 2, 4, 6, 7 questions. What does it mean? You have to read 7 paragraphs to answer that, okay? So it's a good idea to do other questions and manage your time, and then you know how much time is left and then you can do that quickly. Otherwise, list of headings will eat all your time. Now, let's see. We've got complete the summary below, choose one word and or a number. So answer may contain word, number or both. The Model E. Okay, now they're going to talk about a car. The Model E was road tested in 1924. Look for Model E in 1924. Good. Paragraph G, we see model E and 1924, and the good news is all the answer you will find here. Okay, all the answers will be here. Number 1, number 2, they will be in order, so you can find the answers easily. Now let's read question number 24. I'm reading it from second line. They found it easy to drive despite its weight, and it impressed the spectators. A later version of the Model E raised its dash. Now listen, later version of Model E raised something. Now what is it that it raised? So we'll just find that. Okay, a second please. All right, so the later version raised something. So we go back. Please follow me. We may see this 1924 in paragraph F as well. So please come back to paragraph F, and we are going to see the later version of the car. Okay, I'm reading paragraph F. There they talk about 1924, Doble brothers and all that. Please come to fourth last line of paragraph F. Paragraph F, fourth last line. As they drove the test vehicle further, they found that its evenly distributed weight lent it surprisingly good handling, even though it was so heavy. As the new double steamer was further developed, now this is the next model, right? Further developed and tested, its maximum speed was pushed to over 100 miles. What was improved? Maximum speed was pushed to over 100 miles per hour. What's the question? A later version of Model E raised its speed. And what is the word for raised? Pushed. Speed was raised, speed was pushed to over 100 miles. So correct answer is speed. Question number 25. The steam car was too expensive for many people, and its design was constantly being altered. Under dash cars were produced before the company went out of business. Answer is going to be a number. Under, the synonym of under will give you the answer. Under dash cars. Same paragraph. Paragraph G, fourth line. The time. Okay, I'm reading it from third line. Model ES were quite the same because Ebner Doblet twinkled endlessly with the design. By the time the company folded means company finished, in 1931, fewer than 50 of the amazing Model E steam cars had been produced. Fewer than means under. And what is the answer? 50. Now keep it in your mind, fewer than and under, they are synonyms. Correct answer is 50. Good. All right. Now let's go on. We've got question number 26, and we're going to read it from fourth last line. However, even today, there are Model ES on the road in the US. They are straightforward to maintain, and they satisfy California's dash emission laws. Now, what are the laws? California's dash emission laws. Emission law is like your cars are not allowed, they are not allowed to emit carbon. So, let's see, California today, found it? Yes. All right, I'm reading this line from a line above. Astonishingly. Have you found it? Yes. Now I'm reading from there. Okay, paragraph G, sixth last line. Astonishingly, an unmodified double Model E runs clean enough to pass the emission laws in California today. And they are pretty strict. What is pretty strict? Laws. Laws are pretty strict. What's the question? Model ES on the road in the US, they are straightforward to maintain as they satisfy California's dash emission laws, strict emission laws. And for that they said they are strict. They are strict means laws are strict. So correct answer for question number 26 is strict. Now, let's go on. Questions 21 to 23, multiple choice questions. Remember, for multiple choice questions, it's a good idea to read the question only, then scan the passage and see where the relevant information is. Once you find that passage, try to find the answer to the question in the passage and then come back to the options and match that sentence with option A, B, C, D, and the right answer will click you. Okay, let's do it together. Question number 21. What point does the writer make about the steam car in paragraph B? Now the subject is steam car, writer's point in paragraph B. Everyone, please come to paragraph B. I'm going to read it from the beginning. Okay. But the glory days of steam cars were few. Glory days were few. A new technology called the internal combustion engine soon appeared, which offered the ability to drive. So what happened? Glory days of steam cars were few. Keep this in mind. Glory days of steam car were few. Option A, its success. Success means glory days. Was short-lived. Short-lived means few. So right answer is option A. But we will read other options as well. Option B, not enough cars were made. They didn't mention that. Option C, car companies found them hard to sell. It was not mentioned. Option D, people found them hard to drive. So, glory days of steam cars were few, that is, success was short-lived. Now, these are the synonyms. Glory days were few and success was short-lived. A will be the right answer. Question number 22. When building their first steam car, the Double brothers. Now, clue word is first steam car. What is it that they did? Okay, paragraph C. Paragraph C and 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line. Though it did not run well, the Double brothers went on to build a second and third prototype in the following years. Prototype is a design, the first design of something. So they build second design, third design. Though the Double boys' third prototype, nicknamed the model B, still lacked the convenience of an internal combustion engine. It drew the attention of automobile trade magazines due to its numerous improvements over previous steam cars. Now let's go back. We just see what the question is. When building their first steam car, the Double brothers, like they made this, just focus this line, their second and third prototype in the following years. Now let's come back. Option A, constructed all the parts themselves. Have they talked about spare parts of the car or they constructed all themselves or not? No. Option B, made written notes at each stage of the construction? No, not mentioned. Option C, needed several attempts to achieve a competitive model? Yes, prototypes. Several attempts means they made prototypes. It's mentioned here very clearly. Double brothers went on to build the second and the third prototype. Second and third prototype means several attempts. Exactly. So several attempts to achieve a competitive model. C will be the right answer. Option D, sought the advice of experienced people in the car industry, not mentioned. Now we've got question number 23. In order to produce the model C, the Double brothers. Now what is it that Double brothers do to produce the model C? Now look for model C. Paragraph D. Okay, so let's start it from, we just read it from the beginning. The following year, Abner Double drove the Model B from Massachusetts to Detroit in order to seek investment in his automobile design, which he used to open. Okay, next line. He and his brothers immediately began working on the Model C, which was intended to expand upon the innovation of the Model B. The brothers added features such as a key-based ignition in the cabin, eliminating the need for the operator to manually ignite the boiler. Okay, so they made some improvements like that. Now please come back. And what's the question? The question is, in order to produce Model C, what is it that they did? They traveled to Detroit, right? And they made some changes in the car. Option A, moved production to a different city. No. They talked about Detroit, but they did not talk about moving production to a different city. Option B, raised financial capital. No. Option C, employed an additional worker. No, they removed that additional worker. Option D, abandoned their earlier designs. No. No. So there is no right answer here. All four are wrong. Correct answer is option B. Raised financial capital. Please come back. Raised financial capital. Paragraph D for doctor. I'm reading it from third line. He and his brothers immediately began working on Model C, which was intended to expand upon the innovations of the Model B. The brothers added features such as, the answer is the second line. The following year, Abner Doble drove the Model B from Massachusetts to Detroit in order to seek investment. In order to seek investment in his automobile design, and that design was Model C. So in order to seek investment, investment means capital. Seek investment means raised financial capital. B is the right answer for that. Okay, good. So this time we are going to go through list of headings, and we see how to do that. Remember, for list of headings, the type of reading that you need, it is called skimming. You have to skim read the paragraph very quickly. But before you skim read the paragraph, it is very important that you read and interpret the headings. Very important point. Read and interpret. Interpret means when you read the heading, you should know what type of information is required to put that heading. For that, I advise you all to read the headings first, and then you can skim read the passage. Now please come to list of headings, right? Passage 2, list of headings. Heading number 1, period in cold conditions before the technology is assessed. Period in cold conditions. Cold condition is snow, winter, minus something and all that. Okay, period in cold conditions before the technology is assessed. Heading number 2, marketing issues lead to failure. Now failure because of marketing issues. They were unable to market it properly, and then they were unsuccessful. Heading number 3, good and bad aspects of STEAM technology are passed on. In one paragraph, they will talk about good and bad aspects of STEAM technology which are passed on. Heading number 4, possible solution to issue of today. Now, solution to issue of today. In one paragraph, they will talk about currently, today, these days. Heading number 5, further improvements lead to commercial orders. They did some improvements and then they got commercial orders that people wanted to buy their cars or things like that. Heading number 6, positive publicity at last for this quiet, clean, fast vehicle. Now, in one paragraph, they will talk about positive publicity. People liked it because the car was quiet. Quiet means without noise, clean and fast. Heading number 7, disappointing outcome for customers. Like customers bought the car and then it was very bad. So, disappointing outcome for customers. And heading number 8, better option than steam car arises. Now, there was, like they mentioned, internal combustion engine. So, there was another technology and that was better option than steam car and all that. Okay, now whenever you do list of headings, it's a good idea to start from the shortest paragraph given. Why? Because if you started from the shortest paragraph, it's easier for you to do that. Okay, so don't just follow the order. Now, which paragraph is the shortest one? E. Please come to paragraph E. Later that year, Abner Doble delivered unhappy news to those eagerly waiting. Unhappy news to those who are waiting means customers. And unhappy news means something disappointing. Unhappy news, those eagerly waiting the delivery of their modern new cars. Those buyers who received the handful of completed cars complained. What does it mean? Customers were unhappy, disappointed. Which heading is that? 7. A disappointing outcome for customers. So question number 18, answer is 7. And now you should cross number 18 also. Got it? Okay. So which paragraph now? B, exactly. Everyone please come to paragraph B. They say glory days of steam cars were few. A new technology. Glory days were few and new technology means instead of steam cars there was a new technology. Heading number 8. Better option than steam car arises. Well done. Better option than steam car arises. So heading number 8 is the right answer for question number 15. Question number 15 is paragraph B. Okay. So we are done with 2 paragraphs, that is E and B. Now where should we go? Okay, we go to paragraph A. We've read it already. So please come to paragraph A. I'm reading it from the beginning. When primitive automobiles first began to appear in 1800s, their engines were based on steam power. Steam had already enjoyed a long and successful career in the railways, so it was only natural that the technology evolved into miniaturized version of which was separate from the trains. But these early cars inherited steam's weakness along with its strengths. Weakness and strengths. Now see, weakness and strengths, and then they talk about that. Weakness and strength means good and bad aspects of steam technology. Heading number 3 is the right answer for question number 14. Okay, well done. That's good. Question number 14, correct answer is heading number 3. And you should cross question number 14 as well. Okay, now which paragraph? F. Alright, please come to paragraph F. The brothers made one final attempt to produce a viable steam automobile. So they are talking about their final attempt. In early 1924, the Double brothers shipped a Model E to New York City to be road tested by the Automobile Club of America after sitting overnight in freezing temperature. Freezing temperature. So freezing temperature is a period in cold conditions. Well done. See that? Freezing temperature and period in cold condition. Question number 19. Right answer is heading number 1 and cross 19 as well. Okay. So which paragraph should we do now? Paragraph D for doctor. Okay, please come to paragraph D. Everyone. The following year, Abner Doble drove the Model B from Massachusetts. We read about it. So what we've read already, we can skip that. Okay. He and his brother immediately began working on Model C. Alright. So they're talking about Model C, which was intended to expand upon the innovations of Model B. The brothers added features such as key-based ignition, elimination need to operate manually. With these enhancements, the Doble's new cars company promised a steam vehicle which would provide all the convenience of a gasoline car, but with much greater speed, much simpler driving controls, and a virtually silent power plant. Silent power plant, simpler driving controls, and better speed. So, it's heading number 6. Positive publicity positive publicity at last for this quiet, clean, fast vehicle. No, they are, let's just go back and see. Let's just read on there. Ignition, okay, when the enhancements Driving controls. By the following April, the General Engineering Company had received 5,390 deposits for Dubals Detroits, which were scheduled for delivery in early 1918. Heading number 5, if you read this sentence, the last part, they said by the following April, General Engineering Company had received 5,390 deposits, means order of 5,390 cars. Okay, so what is that? Further improvements lead to commercial orders. And what was that commercial order? 5,300 and all that. So heading number 5 is the right answer for question number 17. Now we are left with paragraph C and paragraph G. Please come to paragraph C. Paragraph C, we already read some part to answer question number 22. So please come to 5th last line. Paragraph C, 5th last line. Model B proved to be superior to gasoline automobiles in many ways. Its high pressure steam drove the engine pistons in virtual silence, in contrast to clattering gas engine which emitted the aroma of burned hydrocarbons. Perhaps most impressively, Model B was amazingly swift. Now silence, swift, it could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 15 seconds, a feat described as remarkably acceleration by Automobile magazine. So it came in the magazine, they improved the speed and all that. Heading number 6. Positive publicity. Now what is positive publicity? That is, it came in Automobile magazine. And what was the publicity? Remarkable acceleration. Remarkable acceleration by Automobile magazine. So that is positive publicity at last for this quiet, clean, fast vehicle. What is the word for quiet? Silence, virtual silence. What is the word for clean? Emitted the aroma of burned hydrocarbons. Yes, swift is for fast. So find a word for clean. Its high pressure steam drove the engine and pistons in contrast to clattering gas engine which emitted aroma. Okay, so in contrast means it did not give any aroma, right? Okay. Now what are we left with? Paragraph G. Okay, let's go on and we do paragraph G. Sadly, Dubals' brilliant steam car never was a financial success. Priced at around 1800,000 in 1924, it was popular only among the very wealthy. Plus, it is said that no two Model ES were quite the same because Abner Doble twinkled endlessly with the design. By the time the company folded in 1931, fewer than 50, we read it already. Okay, now please come to the middle of the paragraph, paragraph G. Given the evidence, he may have been right. Many of the Model E Dubals which have survived are still in good working condition, some having been driven over 500,000 miles with only normal maintenance. Astonishingly, an unmodified double Model E runs clean enough to pass the emission laws in California today. Now anything which is related to today. Heading number 4. A possible solution to the issue of today. Now what is the issue of today? Pollution. And what is the solution? Steam engine, steam cars, because steam cars do not emit anything other than steam, and steam is harmless. Okay, so heading number 4 is the right answer for paragraph G. Well done. Got one more passage, and the title is The Case for Mixed Ability Class. Now, there is the case study for mixed ability class. Mixed ability class means a class where intelligent students and less intelligent students, they were studying together. So we've got all the passage. Now please come to questions. 27 to 30, multiple choice questions. 31 to 35. Summary completion with a box. Right? You will find a word in the passage, then you will find the synonym of that word in the box, and you will write your answer. And last questions are yes, no, not given. So in this test, we didn't have true, false, not given, only yes, no, not given as the last question. Where should we start from? Exactly. Complete the summary using the list of phrases. So let's start with summary completion. After that, you can do yes, no, not given or multiple choice questions. But the good thing is all three question types are type A. All the questions are type A. Type A means questions and their answers, they are in order. Okay. So let's make a start. We've got question number 31. Is streaming effective? Now streaming, we know one streaming only on Facebook or YouTube, live streaming and all that. Let's see, is streaming effective? According to Professor John Hattie of the Melbourne Educational Research Institute, look for John Hattie, Melbourne Education Research Institute. John Hattie. Professor John Hattie, second page, first paragraph and first line. Professor John Hattie, Director of the Melbourne Education Research Institute. Found it? Now this is the location and answers are going to start from here, right? And you will find the answers here. And the good news is you will find all the answers in 2 paragraphs. This paragraph and the next paragraph, and you will find all 4 answers. Now let's read the question. There is a very little, I'm reading question number 31. There is very little indication that streaming leads to dash. Little indication, streaming leads to something. Let's go back. Please come to the previous paragraph. Despite all this, there is a limited empirical evidence. Please come to first title page. Title page, last 2 lines, because this paragraph starts from here. Title page, last 2 lines. Despite all this, there is limited empirical evidence. Now, limited empirical evidence, what does that mean? There is very little indication. Okay. So, there is very limited empirical evidence to suggest that streaming results in better outcome for student. Results in mean leads to better outcome for students. Now, let's see. A word for better outcome for students, leads to. Look for a synonym of better outcome for students. It's option H, higher achievements. Okay, streaming leads to higher achievement. For higher achievement, they use the word better outcome. Better outcome and higher achievements, they are synonyms. So that is why correct answer is option H. And one answer will be used once only. So once you use one option, you can just cross that from there. Okay, he points out that, I'm reading question number 32. He points out that in schools which use streaming, the most significant impact is on those students placed in the dash. Now, students placed in the dash. Now, let's go back. Same paragraph. Please follow me. Second page, first paragraph, 4th line after full stop. What is more, streaming appears to significantly and negatively affect those students assigned to the lowest sets. So, those students placed in the, for placed in, they use the word assigned in. What is the answer? Answer is lowest set. Now please see the synonym of lowest set. Lowest set. Bottom sets. D is the right answer. For lowest, right word is bottom. Lowest class, bottom class. Right? So D is the right answer for question number 32. By the way, you are doing academic IELTS reading section 3. This is the highest level of English. Okay, this is the English for Queen of England or President of America, right? Okay, Question number 33, especially where a large proportion of them, what do they mean by them? Students. Large proportion of them have dash. Now let's go back. So I'm reading after lowest sets. These students, found it? Okay, middle. Second page, first paragraph in the middle, after lowest sets. These students tend to have much higher representation of low socio-economic class. Right? Much higher representation of socio-economic class. Okay, just a second. Let me refresh the question in my mind. Especially where a large proportion of them have, okay, so they say here, low socio-economic class, higher representation. Higher representation means, yeah, large proportion of them have and they use the word much higher representation of low socio-economic class. Now look for the synonym of low socio-economic class. That is option F. Low socio-economic class means disadvantaged background. Disadvantaged background means low socio-economic class. So F is the right answer for question number 33. I mean, you need to know these synonyms and you can only learn them by practicing IELTS reading tests, right? Okay. Meanwhile, for the dash, there appears to be only minimal advantage. Now for home, there is that minimal advantage. Same paragraph. Less significant. I'm reading it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th last line. Less significant is the small benefit for those lucky, clever students. Now look for something lucky, clever students. All right, lucky, clever students. For that we've got option E, brightest pupils. Lucky and clever students, they are brightest. Clever means they are very clever in the class. They can do everything properly. So option E, brightest pupil. For students, they use the word pupils. Pupil is the synonym of students. And for brightest, lucky and clever. Okay, there appears to be only minimal advantage. A further issue is that teachers tend to have dash of students. Teachers have something related to students. Next paragraph. Second paragraph, second page, second paragraph, and you see the word teachers in 4th line. I'm reading it from 3rd line. One of the most significant factors is teachers' estimate of achievement. Streaming students by diagnosed achievement automatically limits what the teacher feels the student is capable of. So teachers' estimate of achievement. Okay, and then they say streaming students by diagnosed achievement automatically limits what the teacher feels. Automatically limits what the teachers feel. Which option is that? Limits what the teacher feels. That is lower expectation. Limits. And that is lower. And expectation, what the teacher feels. Right? B is the right answer for question number 35. So on your answer sheet, you will only write the letters. You will not write the words, okay? Now, what should we do? Yes, no, not given or multiple choice? Yes, no, not given can be a good idea. I tell you why. You can have tukka stuff also, right? You can get rid of it earlier. And for yes, no, not given, you have to read one sentence to answer one question, okay? And questions and answers are in order, okay? Let's start. Question number 36, we got ski, whatever, okay? If you mispronounce it, don't worry, no one is there to correct you. So, we got ski model of education. Now, Vygotsky is your clue word and his model of education supports the concept of mixed ability class. Now, listen, if his model of education supports mixed ability class, mixed ability means intelligent students, less intelligent students and dull students, they are studying together. in one class, okay? So if his model supports, answer is yes. If his model disapproves or does not support, answer is no. And if they don't tell us whether his model supports or not, then answer is not given. Now let's go back. Can you find him? Okay, so it's the second last paragraph, title page, second last paragraph, where we find this answer. Yeah. What we are going to look for is his education model supports mixed ability class. Okay, now the statement about him is given in the beginning, right? Please come to the last line of second last paragraph, and that forcing everyone. Found it? Okay, it's the fourth last line of the whole page. Title page, fourth last line, and that forcing everyone. Found it? And that forcing everyone on the same hike regardless of aptitude would be madness. Okay, now come back. Vygotsky model of education supports the concept of mixed ability. He says it is madness. When he says it is madness, does he support? No, he does not support. So what should be the answer? Answer should be no. Well done. Got it? There he says it's madness, and here they say it supports. Question number 37. Some teachers are certain about allowing students to take on MKO roles in the classroom. Now MKO roles, and teachers are certain. Certain means they are sure. Sorry, teachers are uncertain means they are unsure. Okay, teachers are uncertain about allowing students to take an MKO roles in the classroom. All right, MKO. MKO is there. Second page, left column, and last paragraph. A crucial aspect. Found it? Okay, now let's read it from there. A crucial aspect of constructivist theory is the role of MKO, more knowledgeable other. MKO means more knowledgeable other in knowledge construction. While teachers are traditionally the MKOs in the classroom, the value of knowledgeable students' peers must not go unrecognized. Have they mentioned anything that teachers are uncertain or teachers are certain? There is no information about the certainty of teachers. That is why answer is not given. Okay? In the question they say teachers are uncertain. In the passage they do not touch the issue of certainty or uncertainty. Question number 38. It can be rewarding to teach knowledge which you have only recently acquired. Recently acquired means new knowledge, not old knowledge. He says it can be rewarding to teach knowledge which you have only recently acquired. Now we go on. Second last paragraph. In the middle, after full stop, there is also something. Found it? Everyone? Second last paragraph of the passage in the middle, there is also something exciting about passing on skills and knowledge that you yourself have just mastered. You have just mastered. What does it mean? It can be rewarding to teach knowledge which you have only recently acquired. Only recently acquired means just mastered. So answer is yes. Question number 39. Priority should be to ensure that the highest achieving students attain their goals. Priority should be to ensure that highest achieving students, like the position holders, should get their position, right? Highest achieving students attain their goals. Last paragraph. Last paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line after full stop, you see the word and. Found it? And today, more than ever, we need the many to flourish, not suffer at the expense of a few bright stars. What does he say? He says, and today more than ever, we need the many to flourish. Many means all the students should flourish, not suffer at the expense of a few bright stars. Like few bright stars are bright students, he says it's not that we need to pay attention to the bright students only. Now what's the question? The priority should be to ensure that the highest achieving students attain their goals? No. Right? In the passage he says, and today more than ever we need the many to flourish. Many means bright and dull together, they need to flourish, not suffer at the expense of a few bright stars. Okay, question number 40. Taking part in collaborative outdoor activities with teachers and classmates can improve students' outcomes in the classroom. So, fourth last line. The fittest students realize they need to encourage the reluctant. There are lookouts who report back and extra items to carry for others. There is no information here. Once a year, okay, once a year, please read from here. Once a year, I go on a hike with my class, a mixed bunch of students. It is challenging. The fittest students realize they need to encourage the reluctant. There are lookouts who report back and extra items to carry for others. We make it together. What's the question? Taking part in collaborative outdoor activities with teachers and classmates can improve students' outcomes in the classroom. Have they mentioned anything about the outcome of this activity? They talked about activity. Now, activity is good or bad or whatever the outcome is, that is not mentioned. That is why the answer is not given for question number 40. I again advise you to repeat the whole test, right? This test is confusing in all parts, although there are type A questions, but still it is confusing. Okay, now we are left with multiple choice questions 27, 28, 29 and 30. If the time is running out and they say 1 minute left, write all A or all B. If you write all A's, one answer will be correct. If you write all B's, one answer will be correct. And if you write all C's, two answers will be correct without effort. Okay, so don't do this 27A, 28B, 29, C, not like this, okay? When you're doing true, false, not given and you want to guess all true or all false, don't write not given because the proportion of not given is less than true or false. When you write all true and there are 6 questions, 3 answers will be right without any, and this is only last minute tip. Don't do it tomorrow in the class, okay? Yeah, that you're doing it from tomorrow. This is just the last minute tip. When the time is running out, 1 minute left, 2 minutes left, then you can just do it all. Don't leave any blank. And don't give up in your IELTS reading test. Like they say, 40 minutes over, 20 minutes left, and you say, test is very difficult, I can't do it. You should do it. However, you need to complete on your answer sheet, there must be 40 answers. Right or wrong, you need to do that. Okay? Alright, now let's go on. We've got questions 27 onwards. Write the correct letter. Question number 27. Writer describes Romeo and Juliet lesson in order to demonstrate. Now, Romeo and Juliet is a love story. So, what is it that writer describes Romeo and Juliet in order to demonstrate something? Okay, Romeo and Juliet. Where do you find it? First paragraph. Now, answers will go on from here. Okay. Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet with a class of 15-year-old, he's given some of the students copies of No Fear, Shakespeare, a kid-friendly translation of the original. For 3 students, even these literacy demands are beyond them. Another girl simply can't focus and gives her pens and paper to draw with. The teacher can ask the No Fear group to identify the key characters and maybe provide a tentative plot summary. He can ask most of the class about character development and 5 of them might be able to support their statements with textual evidence. Now, 2 curious students are wondering whether Shakespeare advocates living a life of moderation or one of passionate engagement. So, a lot of information. Now, let's go back. Have you noticed one thing? 2 students had this, a girl who was not taking interest, teacher gave her the pen to draw pictures and all that, right? So let's see, the writer describes a Romeo and Juliet lesson in order to demonstrate. Option A, in multiple choice, elimination is the best one. If you eliminate wrong choices, you will come closer to the right answer. Option A, how few students are interested in literature? No. Option B, how a teacher handles a range of learning needs? Maybe. Option C, how unsuitable Shakespeare is for most teenagers? Not at all. Option D, how weaker students can disrupt their classmates' learning? So, correct answer is option B, how a teacher handles a range of learning needs. Come back, please. Okay, so he's given some of the students copies of No Fear Shakespeare, a kid-friendly translation of the original. For 3 students, even these literacy demands are beyond them. What does it mean? 3 students are unable to understand. Another girl simply cannot focus. Now, what is it? Different learning needs. The teacher can ask the No Fear group to identify the key characters and all that. So, how a teacher handles a range of learning needs? B is the right answer. Question number 28. What does the writer say about streaming in the 3rd paragraph? Streaming in 3rd paragraph. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what does the writer say about streaming in 3rd paragraph? The practice of streaming, found it? Yes, okay. The practice of streaming or tracking involves separating students into classes depending on their diagnosed levels of attainment. At a macro level, it requires the establishment of academically selective schools. Macro level. One is micro and one is macro. Macro means wide, micro means small. So, at macro level, it requires the establishment of academically selective schools for the brightest students and comprehensive schools for the rest. Rest means the remaining students. Okay. Now, let's go back. So, what does the writer say about streaming in the 3rd paragraph? Option A, it has a very broad appeal. Macro level. Very broad appeal. That links. Okay. Option B, it favors clever students. No. Option C, it is relatively simple to implement. Not at all. See, this is called elimination. You eliminate wrong options. Option D, it works better in some schools than others. No. So, it has a very broad appeal, and for broad appeal, they use the word macro level. At a macro level, it requires the establishment and all that. Okay, one more thing. Second last line of same paragraph. The practice is intuitively appealing to almost every stakeholder. Appealing to every stakeholder. What does it mean? It is very broad appeal. Appealing to every stakeholder. Every stakeholder means very broad. Okay. Okay. Question number 29. What idea is suggested by the reference to Mount Komolangma? Okay. Whatever it is. Just try to read it as it is. So what idea is suggested by the reference of Mount in the 5th paragraph? Now we go to 5th paragraph, Mount this. What idea is suggested? 5th paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the 2nd column, 2nd paragraph. Title page, 2nd column, 2nd paragraph. Mixed ability class. Found it? Now read it carefully. Mixed ability class board students frustrate parents and burn out teachers. The brightest ones will never submit, mount this, and the stragglers won't enjoy the lovely stroll in the park. They are perhaps more suited to. Individuals suffer at the demands of collective. Mediocrity prevails, so is learning like hiking. I mean, just read again. Mixed ability class, bore students. He says mixed ability, bore students, frustrate parents and burn out teachers. Means teachers have to struggle a lot. Like 5 students understand, 25 students don't understand, right? The brightest ones will never submit, mount this, and the stragglers won't enjoy the lovely stroll in the park and all that. Now, let's go back. What idea is suggested by the reference of Mount Komolangma in the 5th paragraph? Option A, students following unsuitable paths. Not at all. They did not discuss paths that they are following. I mean, this is a mountain. This is a mountain, right? Option B, students attempting interesting tasks. No. Option C, students not achieving their full potential. Yeah, maybe. Option D, students not being aware of their limitations. Okay, let's go back. Let's read it again. Mixed ability class, bore students, frustrate parents and burn out teachers. The brightest ones will never submit, mount Komolangma, and the stragglers will not enjoy the lovely stroll in the park. They are perhaps more suited to. Now, those people who are not able to climb the mountain, they can enjoy in the park, so they will not enjoy. Individuals suffer at the demands of the collective. Mediocrity prevails, so is learning like hiking. All right. So, correct answer for that is option C. Students not achieving their full potential. What idea is suggested by the reference to Mount Komolanga? In the 5th paragraph, students not achieving their full potential. Come back. When they say the brightest ones will never submit, mount this, and the stragglers won't enjoy the lovely stroll in the park, they are perhaps more suited to. So, they will not reach their full potential. Mixed ability class, bore students, frustrate parents and burn out teachers, and the brightest ones will never submit and the stragglers will not enjoy. So, they will not reach their full potential. Yeah. Okay, let's go on. Question number 30. What does the word scaffolding in the 6th paragraph refer to? Scaffolding. So, what is the reference of scaffolding in 6th paragraph? All right, scaffolding. Where is it? Huh? Okay, it's the title page and last paragraph where you found ZPD, right? You will find it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6th last line, scaffolding. I am reading it from 2 lines above. The purpose of teaching is, found it? Yes, sir. Now please follow me here. The purpose of teaching is to provide and then gradually remove this scaffolding. Now what is scaffolding? We got to see that. Until they are autonomous. If we accept, okay, we are not clear about scaffolding. Let's go on 1 to 2 lines above. Can you see development ZPD? I'm reading it from there. Development ZPD. This is the gap between what they can achieve only with support, teachers, textbooks, worked examples, parents and so on, and what they can achieve independently. The purpose of teaching is to provide and then gradually remove this scaffolding until they are autonomous. Okay. Now, scaffolding is something to tell them how to do something until they are autonomous. If we accept this model, it follows that streaming students with similar ZPDs would be an efficient and effective solution. So let's go back. Option A, factors which prevent a student from learning effectively. Option B, environment where most of the students' learning takes place. No. Option C, assistance given to a student in their initial stage of learning. And option D, setting of appropriate learning targets for a student's aptitude. Let's go back. The purpose of teaching is to provide and then gradually remove this scaffolding until they are autonomous. Okay, now yeah, it's actually going to be option C. Assistance given to a student, that is scaffolding, assistance given to a student in their initial stages of learning until they are autonomous. Until they are autonomous means when they know how to do things. So before becoming autonomous, that means initial stage of learning, and scaffolding means assistance given to a student in their initial stage. C will be the right answer for that. All right. Okay, now let me tell you one thing, IELTS reading will be like this. Okay, you cannot say that IELTS reading should become simpler or easier, or you cannot pray the day when I have my exam, passage will be very simple, questions will be very easy, right? All the night you pray for that, and when you go for your exam, then you find it's very difficult. In the last exam, which was held probably a couple of days before, some of the students, they sent me the feedback and they said reading was extremely difficult. Now it depends on the students. For an average student, any reading is very difficult. For someone who has good know-how, it can be moderate. So level of difficulty depends on you, but that's true. Sometimes reading can be very, very stormy. In the actual exam, your ears will be red, okay, and you'll be doing reading and all that stuff. So in order to avoid such type of situation, it's a very good idea to solve at least 1 to 2 reading tests a day with the timer. You should have proper timer, okay, 50 minutes or 55 minutes. If you're planning to appear in computer delivered IELTS, then complete a test in 1 hour. But if you're planning to appear in paper delivered IELTS, then you should do it all in 50 to 55 minutes because you have to transfer the answers to answer sheet as well, right? Now, most important thing is if you do not understand IELTS reading, academic IELTS reading at all, it's a good idea to solve some general training reading tests. And then you can come to academic reading, you will understand things better, okay? And if you are a general training IELTS student and your score is not improving, then it's a good idea to solve some academic reading tests. When you face difficulty, then general training reading will be quite easier. Like, you know, 1 week we solve academic reading test, 1 week we solve general training reading test. The week when we solve general training reading test, academic IELTS students are very angry. Sir, this is so simple. This is so easy. Why don't we have that? Right? So when we solve academic reading, then general training students are quite uncomfortable, right? But anyways, reading is like this. But the good thing is if you practice, you can overcome all these things. You can master this and you can be all right. Okay? Thank you so much.